Dumelang, Dumelang. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to edition, Inspirational Friday. So today it's Sunday and it's Father's Day. So we have this live so that we can celebrate fathers. My name is Makhokolotso Khapetsi and I'm your host of Father's Day edition, where we are talking about a father's heart. And then I'm not alone, as you know, where I always come and bring the best guests on the show. And I make sure that we all leave this platform informed, inspired, and motivated to do better in whichever area that we are still working on. And also to pat ourselves on the shoulders to say, at least on this one, I am on the right track. I am doing my best to do better. So tonight, on Sunday, the 18th of June, 2023, we have our guest, which some and most of us know, author, coach, Ntate Neo Mabiletsa. They call him Soul Healer because apparently he heals souls. So,
It's not a problem.
so today I hope that someone is going to be healed because, you know, I just told him there's a clash between fathers and mothers, females and males. You know, I just don't understand why, because we need each other, regardless of our differences, regardless of what our societies are filled with. We need each other and we need to stand together and be one and fight whatever we believe it's not right. So, welcome to everyone who is here. I can see we already have Janki Matlala. He says, hello, we are happy to be here. And everyone who is here, you can comment and greet us and tell us, where are you? And also comment. We need to hear your thoughts. We need to hear your input. Author, Dumela Ntate Mabiletsa, how are you?
I'm doing great, ma'am. How are you doing? Thank you so much for
I'm
having me
good.
on your lovely show.
I'm good. I'm good. I am happy to have you. And I know you are a very, very busy person. Like this morning, you were somewhere, and I believe giving us your time, it's something that came as a sacrifice. Thank you so much for that. I pray that God continue to open doors for you and make more room for you to do whatever He has laid in your heart. So tell us
Thank you.
about you. Who is Neo Mabiletsa?
Hmm. Now is an author. So I always say I'm an author first because that's my first love, basically. And I
Okay.
think being an author is the only thing, or rather, let me say that's the thing that launched me. And obviously, I would like to acknowledge God for all the things that I have achieved so far. I'm an author, I'm an entrepreneur, I have my own wine brand. I'm a corporate speaker as well as motivational speaker. And yeah, I'm a father to beautiful daughters. And yeah, that's basically who I am.
And you're also a grief coach.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a grief coach, even though I don't do that much coaching anymore.
Okay.
Um, the schedule doesn't allow it, and yeah, for okay, let me just say, coaching takes a lot out of me, so I'd rather save my energy and my mental health to myself.
For
Coaching drains
mm,
me also as much as it drains the next person.
okay.
So yeah, I do it when it is necessary.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, thank you for being here. I know I have 4 of your books, and today I have 2 because we are talking about fathers. We are celebrating fathers today. And the first one, which is the first book of the 2, you wrote Chronicles of a Fatherless Son first. Again.
Yes.
And then, yes, you came back with Chronicles of a Fatherless Husband. So,
Yes.
to everyone who is watching, we have these books available from author Neo, Chronicles of a Fatherless Husband and Chronicles of a Fatherless Son. He will tell us where and how to get hold of him later on. So yeah, I bought these books because I came across you via I remember there was a speaking engagement that we were supposed to speak at, and then that's how I started to get to know you. And as I followed your journey, I learned about who you are. And today we are going to tackle the aspect of you being a father. I want us to talk about the heart of a father and what does it mean? This is my first question now. What does it mean to be a father?
I think for me, being a father means being available. We have so many
Okay.
fathers that are focusing on the material side of fathering, and that
Mm-hmm.
is as much important as well. But sometimes you focus so much on making food, making sure the children have food, making sure they have clothes, and you neglect the emotional part of it. And for me, that
Mm-hmm.
that is the most important part. And if you're not available emotionally for your children, then you might as well be an absent father who's in the house. So for me,
Yeah.
basically, fathering means being there, being around, being a you don't have to be an extremely good listener. You just have to have the patience to listen to these kids. These kids
Mm-hmm.
talk too much, but you have to have
Yeah.
that patience. And one thing that I know is I never knew that I was patient until I had kids of my own. They've taught
Mm.
me a lot. They've taught me a lot about me, my character. They've taught me a lot about my patience. There was a point where I didn't think I was a good listener, but when I had my own kids, I took time and I listened to them. And that's for me,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it means. I think the the food and provide provision for me, it comes last. It's important, but it comes last. The emotional
Okay.
part of it, because a human being is an emotion. A human being needs
Mm.
to be held. A human being needs to be held. They need to be loved. They need to be told they're beautiful. And a father needs to be there for those kind of words and that kind of emotional support.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, you've said a lot of things and which I can relate to as a mother also to my son. So kids needs you to be patient and to
Yeah.
be the most understanding person you can ever think of because as you are raising two, as you have two daughters, they are different. So you need to be able to be there for them individually
Mm,
according to their needs and also be there for them as your kids all together. So
mm.
how has been your journey of being a father been like? And you mentioned that it taught you a lot about yourself. What is the most important thing that you learned about you through your journey as a parent?
Besides learning how to be patient or learning or understanding that I have immense patience, besides that, I have also learned that I, a child can make you fight, through life. When life is difficult, the only thing you will be thinking about is, man, I gotta stay in the fight for my children. And
Mm,
I'm not saying if you don't have children, you don't fight, but I've realized that, since I had children, I fought for my mental health, to see
mhm,
myself waking up every morning. I fought for a lot of things. I fought for jobs. I fought for making money to make sure that, there's food in the house, and I go
mm,
out there and I hustle. So they taught me how to hustle hard. They taught me how to look after myself physically, mentally, especially mentally. because if you're not in the right mind, the kids will come and try to talk to you, and then you'll be a bully, you'll be a ha,
mm,
and
mm,
they have uh, so many challenges that we've been, together, and that I've realized that they've kept me mentally stable. They've kept me grounded. There are decisions that I could have made that could have destroyed me, but because of
mm,
them, I make the right decisions. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do something this dangerous because I wanna come home tonight for my kids.
yes, yes.
I'm even a better driver because of the kids. I want to be alive for them. I choose this might sound strange, but I choose the kind of food that I consume.
Mm,
I choose the kind of woman that I want to be with, because I
mm,
have them in mind. So a lot of things that I do and that I've done that have changed in me was because of the kids, because I have kids.
sure. Yeah, yes. I think what you just said also I resonate with, because it's no longer about you, but it's about everything that is you are responsible or accountable for. You need to
Mm,
account to your kids why there's no food, why
mm,
they can't get that, why why you bring someone in their lives. You need to account to that. So
mm.
I think, yes, having kids will teach you how to be responsible.
Of course,
Yes.
of course.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So we are now I want to understand, Hore, we often don't get how a man, how his life changes when he is expecting to have a child. And also, are they willing to sacrifice all that has to be sacrificed? And right now, I'm talking about men in general, even if he is not there in the lives of their kids. But as through your experience and all the encounters you have had with other men, do do help us here. Hore, does any impact, does the pregnancy, the expectation, have any impact in a man's life when they are expecting?
It does. I think for me it did. I I wouldn't want to speak on behalf of other men, but some of the
Okay.
guys that I've spoken to, some of the friends I used to have, they they were happy when their wives were pregnant, and they were happy to be involved. And some of them,
Okay.
there
Mm-hmm.
were some that I've spoken to in the past. I suppose as we grow older, also the priorities change, right? Most of
Mm-hmm.
my most of my friends, when I had my firstborn, most of my friends were married, and
Okay.
we were in the same church. So all of them were excited when their wives were pregnant. You know,
Okay.
um, everybody ran to get hot wings. We were also excited. On my firstborn, I got the morning sickness, but I got them in the afternoon instead of in the morning. I ate ginger biscuits every day. I carried them to work. It was
Okay.
one of those, yeah. It was exciting for me. It was an exciting period, and I loved it. I enjoyed every moment. I played music, and
Okay. Yes.
I think that got us closer with the baby
Mm.
when the mother was home and I was coming back from work. The baby would hear my voice and kick, and
Nice.
that made me, I would run to the stomach to to touch, to feel the kicks, and to put my ears on the stomach. It was amazing. It was awesome. And I
Okay.
think we still have men like that. It's just that
Mm.
the first 3 months when a woman is pregnant, they're extremely challenging, and
Okay.
there are men who still don't understand that, because sometimes in the first 3 months, you some women don't know that they're pregnant, or some men
Yes.
don't know that their women are pregnant. So their moods are
Mm.
different. They feel. I hope I can mention this. They feel fat. They feel confused, and they take it out on the guy that made them look like that, and
Ish.
and that's just where people don't understand that this is where you should hold on to each other. And I think being
Mm.
married helps as well to say, most couples during that 3 months they break up because a lot of things
Yeah.
change.
Mm.
Frustration, and most people don't know that. That's why they break up. So when you're married, you can fight. There's no way you're going to break up. So that's how it
Yes.
works out, you know. And um, we're not here to advise people not to get pregnant before marriage, but that will that will
The
be
best
an
option.
advantage. Yes, that will
Mm.
be an advantage. So we we as men need to realize that what the first 3 months, what the women go through, and women also need to. You can't tell a pregnant woman to use their head and not their emotion, because that's a
Oh
dangerous
God.
time. But
It can't.
but it's a dangerous time to speak like that. But all it takes is understanding. Let's understand each
Mm.
other. Let's know each
Mm.
other, and let's both
Mm.
enjoy the pregnancy. Let's be involved. And I think that's what
Mm.
makes the load, excuse the load, lighter on a woman or on a couple as well. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Mm,
I can say you have said it all, because understanding each other is the best, solution in everything. As you say,
mm,
she's pregnant and emotional, and Luana, she's pregnant and you are confused, or I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how, and she's moody and she's all that. When you are not married,
mm,
it's risky, because
mm,
anyone can say what's again it right here, right now. I am
mm.
done. I remember
Yeah.
there was someone there who was pregnant. They fought for the whole 9 months, because from the start up, the foundation of the relationship, they've been fighting. So it became a norm. And now I think that's what leads to a lot of. My sister always asks Corona, how can a 1 month baby not have a father? How possible is that?
Yeah.
So I think you have answered the question to say a lot of confusion in between the couple, and they fight a lot and they end up, breaking up because they are fighting.
Mm,
Kanti, it was just seasonal, and it needed them to know where they are as a couple, and also to understand each other's needs during that time.
exactly.
So,
Yeah.
as author Nell said, we are not here to advise anyone to not have babies when they are not married. But as he mentioned, it becomes better and it becomes an advantage, because you are one now. And there's no way anyone now I'm done, I'm going, and I am gone. So
Mm,
we know what to do. We are old enough, I believe. Yes.
mm,
So how can now we are coming to fathers who are already fathers and who don't stay with their kids. How, especially those who are not in good terms with their partners.
mm.
How can he come back? How can he come back and be part of the child's life? And speak his heart into this woman and the family and anyone who is involved.
I don't think it's about him. When you say how can he come back and fix things, I don't think it's about him. I think
Okay.
what I think the fights that are happening on Facebook on Father's Day, people fail to understand one thing. I grew up
Mm-hmm.
without a father, right?
Yeah.
And I
Mm.
kept asking my mother, I kept asking her, who's my dad? Who's my dad? She didn't want to tell me. right?
mm,
And this is
mm,
what parents forget all the time. And that's why we're fighting. They forget that it's
mm,
not about them, it's about the child.
mm,
Where is the child when both of you are fighting? If you both claim to love that child, you will put that child first. I wouldn't mind sacrificing my ego so that I can go see my child. It doesn't
okay.
matter what the mother says to me. She can swear at me, whatever, but so long as she gives me permission to see my child. And if she refuses, there's the law. The law can help, right?
Okay.
And
Mm,
most fathers will be ashamed if they say, "Yo, I don't have a job. How do
mm,
I go? How do I go see my son without, carrying a packet of chips and juice?" It doesn't really matter. The child, even if you buy him that ice cream, yeah, 2 rand, I go LAMP, I go KFC or something. KFC mustn't sue me. But even if you buy the child that ice cream, that child will remember you by that ice cream. The
yeah.
child is not, it's not saying buy me Nike shoes. The child is saying
Mm,
buy me shoes. If you just go to one of these, low price shops and get a sneaker that looks like a Nike, the child will love you and remember you for that. And you
mm,
but I think my point tonight is we always forget it's about the child. You see the mother insulting the father on Father's Day, and some fathers are stupid and responding, and it is not about you guys. It needs to stop.
mm,
It's about the child. The child is going to grow up and they're going to see your name all over Facebook swearing at their father whom they love. The child
who they
doesn't care if the
knew.
mother and father are fighting. The
They
child still
don't.
loves their father. They love their
Mm,
father, you know. And everything that you say about their father, they're watching.
it was, yeah.
Be careful that
Mm,
they don't hate you for it one day, to say,
hey,
oh, you said this about my father, you know.
father. Mm,
And
mm,
yeah, and I know, and I know that there are fathers who are not even trying out there. There's a father that
mm,
can leave their home and then go raise another woman's kids out there and take care of them and forget about their own. And
yes,
those have earned their right to be called whatever they
father.
want to be called. Yeah, you
Mm,
know. But at the end of the day, everybody needs to realize it is about the child. The
Arnold.
child, guys, is the child that matters.
I think, yeah, what you just said is very important because one of the mistakes that we as ladies make is to meet you and already plan a complete life, eternal, forever life with you, and
Mm,
find ourselves pregnant. Our plan is coming back, it's coming together. Now we are pregnant already, is forever. And when it happens, we can't spend forever. I get angry at you and try to get
mm,
back at you.
mm,
Secondly, some ladies have standards. They have high standards. Yes, some of them can afford, but then they find themselves having children with people who cannot afford their standard. And now, when the guy can't come with a branded t-shirt, he is being
mm,
mocked and told not to come because he
mm,
can't afford the lifestyle that I have chosen. Another conflict or painful thing that my gender do is to, with the standard, yes, we are taking our kids to schools that we believe will offer them better education, and we put
mm,
you under pressure to help us sustain this standard. And if you can't, that's the other reason we deprive you the right to be in the child's life.
mm. You are called
So
trash because you can't afford 6,000 school fees.
yes, you
Mm.
see,
Some of the
and
people earn 10,000 rand. You earn 10,000 rand, they expect you to pay 5,000 rand school fees.
yeah, And when
Mm.
you can't, then you are
Yeah.
called name.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
think as parents, as communities, as adults, we really, really, really need to put the child first, even before the child is born. You mentioned earlier, Hore, the types of ladies you want in your life comes from after you observe, you remember what your kids needs to be included in your decision of having someone in your life. So when we do choose you guys as ladies, I believe we need to make sure that even if life happens, I will still appreciate you for who you are, not what you will bring, in
Mm.
the child's life. Because we tend to 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 define people according to what they can give to us rather than who they are. The child needs their father, not what the father can bring in the child's life. As much as
Mm-hmm.
it's important, but him being present, I think is the most important. So
Exactly.
now, yeah, and now when I come into your life, I come into your space as a lady. I find that you have kids, you have the relationship you have with your daughters, and now it becomes a threat to a certain extent to say, I'm competing with your daughters. And now, how do we balance in when I come into the life of a guy like you, who is very close to your kids, and also I believe who are close to the mother of your second born? Because I remember there's this guy, he says that he is single now because ladies always have a problem with the relationship he has with the mother of his son. They don't believe who they are not fighting. They actually relate like a brother and a sister. But every time a lady comes into the guy's life, I shall never, they never buy a story of you just co-parenting. There must be something more. So how do we
Mm.
deal with our insecurities when we come into a man's life who has that kind of a relationship with the mother of their kids?
I think people are so used to baby mamas causing drama that if the baby mama is not causing drama, they think that the two are still dating, right?
Yeah.
Um, People are used to so much conflict, and
Mhm.
if me and you have a child together and we decide, man, the relationship is not working, but we are both such good parents to the child. We are
Mm,
both
mm,
contributing, we are both spending time with the child. And this weekend, the child is with me. Next weekend or this Christmas, the child is with me. The child next Christmas, the child is with you. People are not used to that. They expect us to
yeah.
be at each other's throats. And if we are not, then they think you guys are still sleeping together or whatever,
Mm,
you know.
mm,
But it is not
yeah.
about that. If somebody chooses you, they choose you, right? And
Yeah.
um, you, there are people who also um want to fight for their position in your life. They want you to love them more than you love your kids, your daughters.
Yeah.
And they,
Mm,
they don't understand one thing that is extremely important. The love you
mm,
have for kids can never be compared to the life you have for the woman that you want to marry.
mm.
You can't get you know um you can't get the same love or the same thing from a woman that you can get from the kids, and vice versa.
Mm.
Those things
Yeah.
can never be compared. And both of you are
Never.
supposed to love those kids. So both of you, you love
Mm,
those kids the same, and you enjoy being together the same, right?
mm,
And
mm.
and when you come into a life of a man or a woman who has kids, who's been raising their kids on their own, you have to acclimatize and blend in. That's why they call it blended families. You blend
Mm,
in. You don't want to come in and overcome, right? You blend in And as time goes on, the kids get used to you, you get used to them, and you become
Mm.
one happy family. Because now
Yeah.
you realize that when a couple have babies together and they are both parents of those babies, the mother
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mind when the father gives those babies attention sometimes the whole day and not give her. And then tomorrow
Mm.
he gives you the attention. You don't mind. But if the children are not hers, she minds. you know.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
so we have to come to a place where we understand that those loves are different. The love of a child is different to the love of a girlfriend or a wife or a whatever. You know,
Mm.
it
Yeah.
is completely different. It can never be the same. So I think it's a matter of understanding and sitting each other down and talking and understanding where both of you are coming
Mm.
from. There's
Okay.
no if my child is 6 years old and then I meet you and you're jealous of her, could my daughter give me what you give me? It's not possible, right? I will
Not
love you
yes.
differently.
Not.
Yeah, I will love you differently and I will love her differently. And there's nothing wrong with being close to my kids. There is
Mm.
nothing wrong with being close with my kids and hugging them and picking them up and playing with them. Because at the end of the day, me and you have to understand that when we have kids, we're going to give the kids time, right? But there has to
Yes.
be that's why older couples you'll find them saying, "This is our time. It's not time for the
Mm.
kids. Tuesday is date night, or Saturday is date night. We are out the whole day and the whole night, and we'll see the kids tomorrow." Because you make
Mm-hmm.
time for the kids and you make time for your partner, and that's it. You bring the balance. You bring the
Yeah.
balance, and if you want to be a good father and a good husband, you have to understand that your wife has her time and the kids has their time,
That.
and
Yes.
the family together has their time.
That
So there's time
time.
for your wife, there's time for your kids, and there's time for the whole family. Simple,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah. Ne? It's that simple. I get that. And
Very
I
simple.
think also it has to, when I come, I need to come whole,
Mm,
already dealt with my own insecurities, because some of these problems and attitudes comes from the fact that I have issues with, my, I'm not confident enough, vele. I have issues that I need to deal with from my past. Maybe I have experienced a case where my partner loved his kids more than me, and now I have not really healed and dealt with that. I come into your space, I think you're going to do the same thing. So I believe one has to be matured enough to understand, as you say, I come in, I study the your family, I study the way you do things here, and also I listen to what you are telling me on how you do things. It will
mm,
make it easy for me to blend in, make it easy for me to be patient enough, to get used to the setup. And as we said also, we are not used to peace. Well, we know there must be fights and conflicts, and
mm,
coming into, most of us don't believe they are still good fathers. So when we
mm,
come and meet one, it's so difficult to really digest that and make it our truth and also blend into it.
mm.
So
It also
now,
depends what It also depends
yeah,
what kind of family you come from, right? If you were used to a father that's not involved with the kids, then you see that as strange. You think that you
mm,
are being sidelined. Because they didn't know. The father just wants to be involved in the life of the kids and involved in your life as well. So there's nothing wrong with it, But if you're coming from a family where your father was just sitting down and reading a newspaper and never talking to the kids, And when you get into a blended family and you see a father that's involved, that's always playing with the kids and giving them attention, you know, you you feel threatened. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but you do. You feel threatened, and it goes down to the fact that people have wounds from their
Mm.
fathers, and
Yeah.
they carry them out on other kids, and those wounds are not just for women. Men can also be like that. Men can also be jealous of the kids, to say, yo, mommy always my wife always gives attention to the kids. That's a wound from being raised by a
Mm.
father that's not involved. And it becomes a huge problem, to say, what, kids have their time, mommy has her time, and the family has their time.
Mhm. So, if we are going to summarize what we just spoke about, ke hore we need to be conscious of the types of families that people we choose comes from,
Hmm,
and also get to know the history and the traumas that they may have faced, and how and who raised them, how they were raised, and who raised them. I think
hmm.
it will also make it easy for us, to not come and project where we come from into our new relationship and also our new life.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
yeah, yes.
And
So,
on that note, as you know that I speak on healing, everybody
mm-hmm,
needs to heal from the wounds of fatherlessness. And if you don't heal
mm,
from that, it will always affect you, whether you are a man or a woman. It will always affect you, right? And
mm,
I think I see Coach Malebu here. She will
yes,
testify to say that, yeah, to say that every trauma, that you experience, if you're not dealing with it, it will affect your life. It will affect your parenting. It will affect your relationship, or your marriage, or whatever that you have to go through if you haven't dealt with it. You understand?
mm,
Mm.
sure. Whew. So, yeah, we need to heal. That one, I totally agree, because I remember someone was asking a question yesterday, why some people are single, why, and I remember I came in and said, because I'm broke, I'm single because I'm broke. And then he was like, okay, so being broke, it's limiting on a lot of things. Yeah, because of my financial status, I might misinterpret some of the things that my partner is doing. Not because he
Mm.
is saying that, but because of my state of being financially. I'm going to blame him. I'm going to misinterpret and make a whole lot of, you know, conflicts out of nothing. So even on this one, if we are not healed and dealt with our past when it comes to the setup of the families we come from, we will always bring that into where we are as far as relationships and, co-parenting and family blending is concerned. So we need to heal
Definitely. Oh yes,
and
definitely.
yes, yeah.
Mm. I like what you're saying and where you are going, with the finances thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that is an extremely important thing. There's somebody who likes to say, "Women, make your own money," right? So you don't
Yeah.
expect it from somebody else, and
Mm.
and it goes back to also the traumas of our fathers, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
your father wasn't supporting your mother and you growing up, and you are pushing another man to do beyond his
But
capabilities because your
mm,
father wasn't providing for you, and it becomes his problem. And when you see other women working very hard and buying their husbands a car, it's a problem for you. You run to Facebook and say, ah, he's playing with her, but that woman is healed. That woman doesn't have a problem with. She loves her man. She loves her husband. There's nothing wrong with somebody
mm,
doing something for their husband. And but other people, they are so used to losing that all they ever want to do when they grow up is they want to take and take and take and take. and sometimes we think by taking, we're making ourselves happy, right? We
Mm,
think that this is how it's supposed to be. This
mm,
is how when the Bible says a man is a provider, this is what it means. I take and I take and
mm,
I take.
mm.
But you can only take so much from another person until they are completely drained, right?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and yeah, and this is where we find that there is no balance. If you look back, every time I get into a relationship with somebody else, I want to find out where their father is. What kind of a man
Yes.
was he? Because that is extremely
Mm,
important. If you
very
expect me
important.
if you expect me to give you 1 million, but your dad wasn't giving you 1 million, if you expect me to give you monthly income while you're sitting at home and watching Netflix that I'm paying for, what's your father doing that? You know, and I'm not sitting here complaining about all this stuff. I'm just saying that
Mm,
everybody has that part of their lives. Some are aware of it, and some are not aware of it. And hopefully, somebody
mm,
can be helped tonight to say, you know what, if you can't do things, you can't. But don't go on Facebook. What happened there? Don't go on Facebook and you know um, label people and talk things about people that you yourself
mm.
do not understand. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's true because we are really, really, really putting people under pressure unnecessarily and, end up pushing them away from being in their children's lives. And it
Hmm.
becomes something that the child will have to deal with when they grow up. So I think
Hmm.
and believe we need to do better. We need to start taking accountability first of all by who we choose in our spaces, in our lives, and who we end up with. Because once you know who is this person, and it will be easy, I believe, it will be easy for your relationship with the kids and the kids that you will have together to be as healthy as possible.
Hmm.
Now, your closing remarks, author, to say we need to, as a community, we need to remember how men are people also, and
Hmm.
they have to make mistakes, and they will make a lot of them, whether he's a father or he is the first time or it was his third baby. He will still make mistakes, as a person. So now I need you to just help us come in terms with understanding that fight each other on you are not there, you were not there, and all those things. Please close this for us.
I think you said that women need to understand that men are human beings, men are people, but men
Mm,
also need to understand that women are human beings as well. I
yes.
think if we can try to bring the balance to not say women are wrong or to say men are wrong. Um,
Mm,
we have taken social media so far. You find a person who trashes men on Facebook, but when you meet them, they are so humble and they love man, and in their secret spaces they love men. But people are people are angry. They don't know where to take their frustrations to. Both men
mm,
and women are like that.
yeah.
But
Mm,
but here's the most important thing, right? Is to understand that we are all trying. We are all trying,
yes.
right?
I love it.
We have
Mm-hmm.
instead of shooting each other so much, if we get together and be a team, then we can
Mm,
win. You know,
yes.
when you're watching soccer, if somebody always holds the ball to themselves, the team will
Mm,
lose no matter what.
mm,
You're passing the ball,
mm,
he holds it until it's out or until it's taken away. The team will lose. If we are a father
yes,
and mother,
definitely.
if we are a father and mother and we are not holding together, we are not going the same direction, we'll definitely fail. We will lose and we will fail. If we are a
Mm,
couple and we get into a relationship and we like each other, and I think the most mistakes that we make is we we want to date somebody because oh they look so beautiful, they have such a beautiful body, but
mm,
we don't know where they come from. We just know that their name is Susan. Let me make an example,
yeah.
and we don't know their background, but we want to have the baby with the same person, right?
Mm,
The habits that they have, they're going to pour them into our children because in most families, mothers spend more time with the children,
yeah.
and all those things. And I'm speaking this in both sides. You also meet
Mm,
me. You don't know where I come from. I have fatherlessness, bruises, or my mother wasn't treating me well. How do you expect me to treat you well if my mother wasn't treating me well? I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, oh, this one can betray me anytime. Then I start hiding money. I start transferring money to accounts with names that you don't know because I saw my mother do it to my father. And that is a wound to me. But you don't find out that. And you only find that out after 20 years when we are going into a divorce. And then you look into my bank account, you know me as a millionaire, but I only have 2 million. The other money is hidden somewhere. You're right. So I think my message today is a team never loses. But how do you become married and become individuals? There's nothing wrong with becoming with a dreaming different dreams. You still have to have a dream for a family and a vision for a family. You know,
mm,
we and I'm going to say this with a bold statement, right? Biblically, the man is the head of the house, right?
yes.
And
Yeah.
but he needs to lead properly so that the woman can follow properly. He needs to be a man of sober mind, a man that comes home for their family, a man that
Mm,
doesn't spend the weekend outside. And I'm not saying
mm,
this up. If you prefer a man like that, then if he makes you happy, then that's good for you. But if we are not a team, and I repeat this over and over and over, if we're not a team, we will lose, and our children will lose, and generations after generations will suffer. Let
mm,
us chase, let us chase this important thing. Let us heal and be complete and be happy with ourselves before we chase
mm.
somebody else. Thank you.
Sure. Okay. Balance. We just need to have balance, and the rest will just fall into place. And
Mhm,
also, communication is very important. I
mhm,
think also we need to change how we start these relationships, especially Rona, who are already, we have kids. So we need to change how we start them. We need to have more conversations, and honest and brutal ones, not to
mhm,
come here impressed by the fact that you are this type of a person. You are an author, you go everywhere to speak and whatever. You are known, you are more or less a celebrity, and now I am happy I'm dating this smart guy, and I don't even give myself time to sit down and get to know you,
That's
because
impressive,
most
though.
of,
That's
sorry,
impressive, though. The caliber
yeah,
of
yes,
those things you mentioned, that's impressive, though. But asikolap. Mm,
it is impressive, but
mm,
one of the things that I was saying recently to one of my friends, I see this thing, ne? But my question is it is it sustainable? You
mm,
know,
mm,
So we need to dig deeper. We need to get to know each other. We need to be open also and honest when I come and meet you and say, I have two kids. My kids are
mm,
not kids anymore anyway.
mm.
they are this old, and so that you know what you are putting yourself into, and also how are we going to go forward so that we can have a healthy relationship and a long lasting one that can take us anywhere where we want to go, protecting our
Exactly.
kids in the process and being the best and the good parents, the father or the mother, and live happily ever after.
Hmm. Thank you. Amen. People are
Yes.
looking for fed bank balances. They're not looking
Ah,
for character.
age.
Character will take you far. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, as I also wrap up, please tell us about where to get hold of you and all the services that you provide, starting with the why.
Um. So the important thing is the books, right? Guys,
Okay.
if you get on my website, you will get the books cheaper. You will get free PEP courier. Okay, the books are
Okay.
200 rand, but if you get them on my website, which is www.mabiletsagroup.co.za, or you can just type on Google Neo the Soul Healer, and then click the first Neo the Soul Healer. That, well, not the first. There are soul healers that are traditional. But if you go Neo the Soul Healer, you'll see my name there, and then you click there, it will lead you to my website. You can buy the book there. It will send me a message, and I will courier the book via PEP for you for free. And if you buy it from me directly, you can send an email to admin@mabiletsagroup.co.za, or you can just send a WhatsApp to 071 957 4623. 071 957 4623. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ntate Mabiletsa. It was an honor to have you here. We've learned, and I believe Hore, we will do better in
Mm,
finding balance and
yeah.
also sticking together as a team, because a team never loses.
No,
It will
yes.
always win. And
Mm,
if this Team Mabiletsa wins, it means that generations after this one will also win, and will have an overcoming generation after generation. So thank you so much. I believe someone learned something. And we had Coach Malebu. She greeted us and said, "Hello, beautiful people." And she also said, "Very true, Neo. You were talking about something concerning healing." That's when she commented and said so. We also had
mm.
Khadi Blessing. She sent a fire and a clap. And also
Fire.
we had, yes, we had Tapi Ramutibe. She or he sent, please forgive me if I am mixing your gender, a love and also a hi. So thank you so much to everyone who was here, even though you did not comment, but I am grateful for your presence, for joining us. I believe you will join us again. On Wednesday, I have a financial literacy session, 7 o'clock, right here at this platform. I will announce the speaker maybe tomorrow. But yeah, Wednesday we have a session, 7 p.m. on finances. You are welcome to come and tell your friends and share the stream in all of your platforms. And Friday, we are talking also, this month we are focusing on men. We are talking with another guest where we will be talking about a man as the leader. So please, please, please set your alarms and let's meet on Wednesday. From me and Coach Othanel, we thank you. We are saying good night. May God continue to bless you and be with you in everything you do.